Sometimes that includes books. Now, whether this is your first time coming across my little corner of the internet, welcome. Or you keep coming back, have not joined my internet family, I definitely think you should. So hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so you're made aware of every time I post, which is usually on the weekends. Okay, girl. As I said, it's almost time for the semester to be. The semester is beginning. Okay, child. And that month went by way too fast. But we're going to talk about the books that I will be reading, hopefully over the next few months of the semester as an academic. Okay, we're not going to belabor the point. All of these are physical books because these came from my office, which is where the academic books live. I had to buy a new copy of Black Magic, but I'm teaching a course. And some of these are for the courses I'm teaching. So I'm teaching Black Magical Traditions, African Diasporic Religions in the winter. And my students are reading Black Magic by Yvonne Chireau. This is major key text. I think it is so far still one of the only academic texts on hoodoo and conjure. So this is a cornerstone book for me. And so my students will be reading much of this over the semester. It's not very long, honestly, but it does give a very good sense of the conjure tradition from the perspective of religious studies. So my students are going to be reading this. Also, I will be reading Oshun's Daughters by Vanessa Valdez, and this is The Search for Womanhood in the Americas. This takes African diasporic religions and talks about it from the perspective of specifically the Yoruba traditions, so Santeria, Regla de Ocho, and Candomblé, which are out of Cuba and Brazil, and puts it within the perspective of women and women archetypes. I actually got to meet Dr. Valdez at a talk she gave in September, October at the university. And she was very kind, and she told me about this book because I peeped something about her. And I was like, hey, and we were talking, she's like, cousin. And it was such a wonderful time. So I will be reading this book. This is more so for me, but I think I probably won't be able to use it this semester, but maybe my next run of Black Magical Traditions will include something from this text. Black Madness and Mad Blackness. This is about the idea of Blackness and disability and theorizing how they are mutually constitutive. And so Pickens does this through Black speculative and science fiction, which I've read part of this. I just need to finish it. It's not very long, but it is a bit dense. So I have to be in the mood for stuff like that. But my goal is to finish this semester. If you read my December reading wrap up, I talked about how to go mad without losing your mind, but also the fact that I have the book Black Religion in the Madhouse. I also have this book, which is Madness by Antonia Hylton. So I'm going to try to read this one. And this is about racism and insanity in a Jim Crow asylum, because I'm really thinking through the idea of insanity, mental health, madness in Black history and Black culture, because again, I got a thing brewing in my head, but I need to do some more reading. So hopefully I'll be reading this. It's going to be a slower read unless I do part of it as the audiobook, because child, it's going to piss me off. I already know. I will also be doing Begin Again by Eddie S. Glaude. And this is talking about James Baldwin, particularly his cultural critiques and his essay work around civil rights movement and beyond that. I'm doing work around Baldwin, so I'm going to pick this up and read it. It's been on my bookshelf for a minute, and I like reading Eddie Glaude because he is a religious scholar that I've been reading for many years now. In the same vein, I also will be reading parts out of From Harlem to Paris by Michel Fabre, which is about Black American writers in France from 1840 to 1980, particularly how expatriation from the United States to France impacted especially Black writers. I'm reading the Baldwin chapter here, and to sort of get a sense of like the work that came out of Baldwin, tied to Baldwin's expatriation to France. Because of that, I will also be reading Just Above My Head, which is this one of Baldwin's last novels? I don't remember, but I've read this before. I actually picked up a new copy so that I can make notes, because my copy is criminally small, and when you're an academic, you need some space. So I will be reading this. This is about I'll read you the back. It says, the grief of a brother mourning a brother opens this novel with a stunning, unforgettable experience. Here in a monumental saga of love and rage, Baldwin goes back to Harlem, to the church of his groundbreaking novel, Go Tell It on the Mountain, to the homosexual passion of Giovanni's Room, and to the political fire that inflames his nonfiction work. Here, too, the story of gospel singer Arthur Hall and his family becomes both a journey into another country of the soul and senses, and a living contemporary history of Black struggle in this land. So yes, I'm reading this for my research, but also we know I love Baldwin's writings. Finally, we have Black Candle Women by Diane Marie Brown, which I read in October, and my Black Magical Traditions class is going to be reading this. So I am going to reread this with the intention to make my notes for my lectures. I don't know when I'm going to start doing that, child, but they're not going to get to this till like mid-semester. So I got at least a month to get started on that. I think that's it. I think that's a healthy amount of books to try to be reading as an academic. Is this the exhaustive list? No. I'll probably pick some other things up depending on how my work goes. What do you think? Do any of these pique your interest? Are there any academic themes or texts that y'all want to see me work with? Let me know down in my downstairs area or the comment section. And as always, friends, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend about the channel. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.